What can end-to-end automation suites learn from production applications? How do you measure the effectiveness and ROI of automation testing? And do you want a DevOps roadmap? If so, find out the answers to these and all other end-to-end full pipeline DevOps, software testing, automation testing, performance testing, and security testing in 10 minutes or less in this episode of the Test Skill News Show for the week of October 23rd. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea and let's do this. This episode of the Test Skill News Show is sponsored by the awesome folks at Applitools. Applitools is a visual AI validation testing solution that's a must-have for any automation project, but don't miss out on their free account offer by clicking on the link in the comment down below. And while you're there, why not leave a comment, and subscribe to get alerted every time I release a new episode. First up, automation news. So Tricentis had a very busy week. They released, I think, around 3 products. So let's see what they released and what it's all about. So Grigori just mentioned that they released 2 new products, actually. One is Tricentis Test Management for Jira, and the other is Tricentis for Test Automation for Salesforce. And they also did a new release of new capabilities to Neoload, the real browser. So the latest release of Neoload 9.0 now includes Real Browser, a major new capability that adds browser-based testing along with existing protocol coverage in a single solution, which is always very cool. Test Management for Jira is an end-to-end test management solution that streamlines development and testing cycles by helping the entire business quickly and easily manage tests from idea to production, as one team can see everything inside the same tool, which is Jira. And their other solution that they released is Test Automation for Salesforce. So there's a need for these type of tools. There's a lot of tools actually probably in an enterprise that you're not aware of are actually built with package-based applications like Salesforce. So having a technology or a tool to help you test that is critical. And here's just another solution to help you with your automation journey from end-to-end testing. So a couple of cool releases by Tricentis, and you should definitely check them all out in the first comment down below. So what can you learn from production applications that you can apply to end-to-end automation suites? Well, this next article goes over this and a bunch more. So Sadier wrote this article because based on his experience when he was in SDAT of some things he ran into that he wished he knew about when he was getting this information from his manager. So let's see what this is all about. And the article was born out of his long time career as an SDAT. It goes over some definitions between production applications and end-to-end automation. And then he talks about real-world scenarios and covers observability, external hardware providers, maintenance, error thresholds, continual ownership. And he wraps it all up by saying, for an end-to-end automation suite to be successful, you need to be wise to employ all facets of observability, maintainability, error threshold, hardware providers, and ownership. Definitely agree. So great advice, Sadier, and thank you for that. And definitely give him a follow and check this out also in the comment down below. So do you want to run your Selenium grid on a Kubernetes instance? Or do you want to know how to auto-scale using Keta? Well, this next article will help you do just that. And this is posted by Mohid. And I didn't know he actually had a whole series on Selenium grid. So if you're doing anything with Selenium grid, you definitely want to check out this whole series. And he starts off by, in the previous sessions, talking about using Selenium grid on their Kubernetes cluster. But in this article, he goes over how you can deploy your Selenium grid on AWS, Elastic Kubernetes services. And he also covers how you can also scale your grid using Keta. This is a really helpful article that goes over the installation that you need to do step by step with the commands, also provisioning an EKS cluster, how that's done, with deployment files, the Selenium Hub deployment file itself. He talks about how you can scale the Selenium grid using the horizontal pod autoscaler. And he ends the article with a link to the GitHub repository for this and also the deployment files that he used as well. So awesome, insightful article, really detailed with a lot of great screenshots. It's a must read, I think, for sure, especially if you're using Selenium Grid. So definitely give that a full read and let me know what you think. So this week I also stumbled across a new tool. I don't know where I found it, probably somewhere on my Instagram feed for some reason. And it's Headlamp, which is an augmented reality tool. So what does that mean? Well, let's take a quick look. So it goes over a few things Headlamp can do. It helps you collaborate, get total test coverage. You can find bugs. And they do have a solo version, which is free forever, that you can use on your own. So it's a Chrome extension. They do have a free solo version you can get for life. So definitely check that out. To find out how it works, basically what happens is you install that Chrome browser extension, you activate it, and then you click or type or change something, and the corresponding red dot disappears. And what this does, it helps you, the remaining red dots show what elements your manual or automated tests missed, and you can view the report of what web pages need to be tested. So I haven't tried this tool yet. I'm definitely going to install it and play around with it and let you know what I find. But if you have already, let us know in the comments your thoughts about it. So this week, I'm actually hosting a future of testing session with Applitools, really excited about. And Anand is kicking off the day talking about test automation and measuring effectiveness and ROI. And he talks about how automation is thought of as a silver bullet that will enable teams to shift left and accomplish CI/CD. However, how confident are you with the value added by the automation implemented by your organization and your team? He's going to go over and have an open discussion on exploring commonly used metrics to really help you effectively measure ROI of your automation. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you register down below and hope to see you there. One skill you probably should definitely have to ensure future success is to make sure you know more about DevOps. So I found this DevOps Roadmap that I think is really going to help you in your career. All right, this is by Nana, and Nana posts a really helpful resource. You can download it as a PDF or just go directly to the website. And this is a step-by-step guide that outlines the most effective path to become a DevOps engineer if you're looking to make a career change. This goes over some of the key concepts you need to know about. First one being concepts in software development, some OS and Linux basics you need to know, containerization, Docker, what you need to know about CI/CD pipelines, recommending learning to one cloud provider inside and out. Definitely need to know Kubernetes, also monitoring and observability, infrastructure as code, what scripting language you should probably learn more about, version control, Git. So definitely a must-read resource, and you can definitely check that out as well, and let me know what you think. So you've probably heard me mention Datadog a few times in our performance and site reliability segment, but they just announced a new feature that's actually in the continuous testing space. So Datadog has introduced a new continuous testing platform. They decided to create a solution that's going to help developers and quality engineers create, manage, and run end-to-end tests for their web applications. So they decided to create a solution that has some key features that are going to help you create more reliable, faster tests. So definitely interesting development. I haven't tried this myself, but definitely check it out and tell us all what you think in the comments down below. Next up, performance and site reliability news. As you know, we're starting to head into the holiday season. And one of the things a lot of applications get hit with is on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, when their applications can't handle all the peak load that's happening at that time. So here's a resource to make sure you don't experience that yourself this year. And this article is by Madison Hicks at Micro Focus, and it talks about performance testing tips to help you for peak traffic and some ways on how to be prepared with 5 tips and tricks to prepare your application and teams for peak traffic. And so the quick 5 tips are: first, start early. The second is test your resources. The third is prepare for the worst. The fourth one is track your end user experience. And the fifth is learn how to improve for the next time. So if you haven't started already to prepare for this next Black Friday or Cyber Monday, definitely check out these tips and start implementing now before it's too late. Next up, security testing news. And this article goes over an exploit that researchers are saying are going to be on the rise this year that you need to know about. So researchers anticipate a third wave of attack exploiting the Zimbra vulnerability. Researchers have said that there's definitely going to be a third wave of attacks on unpatched servers after a recent proof of concept for a vulnerability that could allow remote code execution in Zimbra that has been added to the Metasploit project. And the reason why it's even more critical is that a proof of concept for this vulnerability was actually added to the Metasploit framework, which lays the groundwork for a massive and global exploitation from even lower sophisticated attackers. So something to be aware of. And if you haven't patched yet, definitely make sure you have all your servers patched for this vulnerability. For links to everything of value we covered in this news episode, make sure to head on over to all the links in the first comment down below. They're all timestamped as well. And while you're there, make sure to check out our awesome sponsor, Applitools free account offer, and discover how to take your automation testing to the next level, leveraging visual AI. So that's it for this episode of the Test Guild News Show. I'm Joe. My mission is to help you succeed in creating end-to-end full-stack pipeline automation awesomeness. And as always, test everything and keep the good. Cheers.